Okay guys, so we're going to be talking about slope. And in class we talked about the rule for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what the slope allows us to do is it allows us to find out what our term value is when we only have our term number. Now in case you guys forgot, whenever you have a table of values, our first value is x and our second value is y. So what we have to do is we have to pick two numbers, basically, two from our y and two from our x, to work into our equation. Now whatever two numbers you pick, so if I pick negative 94 for my y, negative 4 has to be my x. Whatever number you pick on a line, you have to pick its opposing number, okay? So if we decided that our y2 was going to be 282, so our y2 is 282, then automatically our x2, so underneath, has to be 12. So y2 and our x2. Now if we picked 282 and 12, we have to pick another number, another y value, to be our y1. So let's say we take negative 94. So it's minus negative 94. You have to make sure that you have that minus negative, not just minus 94. And then we have, if we took negative 94, we have to take negative 4 as our x1. So minus negative 4. And we talked about in class how a negative and a negative make a positive. So 282 plus 94, which gives us 376, over a negative and a negative, again, give us a positive. 12 plus 4 gives us 16. 376 over 16, or 376 divided by 16, gives us 23.5. 23.5 is our slope. So our rule is y is equal to 23.5x. Now what we can do is we can take any one of our term numbers to see if we're right. So if we go and decide we're going to try y is equal to 23.5 times negative 94. Times negative 4, sorry. So we're going to use our x. So 23.5 times negative 4. Our answer should be negative 94. So if we go 23.5 times negative 4, our answer is negative underneath. So y is equal to negative 94. Okay, so we were able to test it to see if we did it. And if we did, look, y is equal to 23.5 times 1, our rule works. So we know that this 23.5x right here is a good rule. Now it asks us, the question is, what would the value be for this situation at the 36th term? So we want to know what our y will be when this is 23, when this is 36. So we take our rule, y is equal to 23.5 times 36, and we get our answer, which is going to be 846. So y is equal to 846. So for this question, we know that this is our rule, and this is our answer when our term is 36. So that's just one example. That's when we don't have our slope going through the y-axis. But let's clear everything from this page for a minute. And we'll do the same thing. So if we have a different table, do the same rule. Okay, so y2 minus y1, same formula, over x2 minus x1. We pick a number on our y-axis. So this is still x and this is still y. So let's say we take 117 as y1, then automatically negative 16 has to be my x2, so my y and my x. And let's say I take 141 as my y1. I have to take negative 22 as my x1, so minus negative 22. So we have 117 minus 141 gives us negative 24. Negative and a negative make a positive. So we have 16 negative plus 22 gives us 6. Negative 24 divided by 6, we know will give us negative 4. So at the moment, we have our rule is y is equal to negative 4x. Now if we test it out, we'll take, let's say, our first term here. So we can say y is equal to negative 22, y is equal to negative 4 times negative 22. And that gives us what? So we'll take negative 4 times negative 22. A negative multiplied by a negative will give us a positive, and we get 88. But 88 is not what we have here. Over here we have 141. The reason why we have 141 is when our x-axis is 0. So when our x value is 0, our y value tells us here that it's 53. So we need to add 53 to our negative y is equal to negative 4x to get to 141. So if we were to go negative 4x plus 53 and do negative 4 times negative 22 plus 53, or if we were to add our 88, add 53 to our 88, we would end up getting our 141, in which case we know our rule is right. Now let's say, for the sake of argument, that they didn't tell us what was going on at 0. We had no idea that there was a value at 0, so we didn't know. All we knew was that we were only able to figure out negative 4x. And when we did, so let's go with, let's say, this one. So we went our negative 4x, and we decided to use negative 16. So negative 4 times negative 16, we get, so 4 negative times 16 negative gives us 64. Now that, again, is not what we have here. So the way we could figure out, though, why we don't have this number is we can subtract 64 from 117. So we take 117 minus 64, and that gives us 53. So we know for our rule we still need to add 53, and 64 plus 53 will give us y is equal to 117 or 117. That's how we figure out the slope, guys. So that's for a slope when we have a term value at 0 and when we do not have a term value at 0. So I hope this helps you guys figure out how to solve slope. I'll see you guys in class. Have a good rest of the day.